Influence Network for the strong, not the weak.
No escaping this. 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 No one's ready to deal with us. No escaping this. No escaping this. No escaping. No one's ready to deal with us. No escaping this. No escaping this. No escaping. No one's ready to deal with us. No escaping this. No escaping this. No escaping. No one's ready to deal with us.
You are listening to the End of the Bench podcast on Built for This Network, hosted by my man, HRap. Bench podcast on Built for This Network, hosted by my man, HRap.
What's good? What's good? What's good? Thank you for tuning in. It's always a pleasure to come in live and direct. I am, as the lady just said, HRap. This is Built for This Network. This is the End of the Bench podcast, Build and Destroy, where I attempt to build up our community, destroy all the lies and propaganda that surround our community. Thank you for tuning in. It's going to be an interesting show as usual. You know how I start each and every one of my shows. I say, this is a podcast. The reason I say it's a podcast is because even to this very day, after I've been saying this for years and years and years and years, months and weeks and days and hours, you cannot miss my show. I am on live 24/7, 365. Live 24/7, 365. And the reason I say that is because I continue to get people to say that. So, folks, you don't even like, if I send you a notification, you get a notification, hey, I'll come on if I can. You don't have to come on. You can just listen at your leisure. That's the beauty of the podcast. It's on demand entertainment. On demand entertainment. And what that means is you get to watch when you feel like it. Hopefully it's entertaining. Hopefully it's engaging. Hopefully it's something that you can use and be prosperous with, if not such to be. Now, but I still need to listen. With that being said, I want to acknowledge my family. My family and loved ones. That is because when you send out respect and protection to the people you care about, whether their ancestors are still drawing breath, you get respect and protection and blessings back to you. So, I send this to everybody connected to the Whitmore, Pollard, Turner, Battle, Cotton, Bailey, Chris Lansdowne, Liggins, Duncan, and Williams clan. We are in the building. That's me, my mother, my brothers, my sisters, and nieces, nephews, and everybody else who's connected. Now, with that being said, thank you for tuning in. Shout out to Michelle Smith, as usual. Now, with that being said, man, this has been an interesting week. I'm gonna step on some toes this week. I am going to step on some toes this week. And it's not my point to hurt people's feelings or offend anyone, but I'm quite sure what I'm going to say this week, there will be a few people offended. That is not my goal. But when you are doing commentary like this, what happens is you say you have to break an egg or two to make some omelets. And that's just the bottom line. I'm not here to offend. I'm here to build and destroy. I'm here to build up my community and destroy the lies and propaganda that surrounds my community. But sometimes people's feelings will get hurt with my commentary. That is not my goal. Again, with that being said, I'm going to start off in the entertainment world. The entertainment world, which by and large, a lot of my community, we push a lot of this. We over-index on social media. That's entertainment, whether you believe it or not. We over-index on music. We over-index on TV shows. We primarily over-index on TV shows. Our community, the community that looks like this, we watch more TV than most people in the world. That's why you see more of our people on TV shows today, because in order to maintain that level of attention, you must attract the people who watch the most. Now, with that being said, it's a damn shame. A couple years ago, I made this proclamation. I was still on XY Radio. I hadn't even transitioned over to this network. I'm on XY Radio, and I made the proclamation on one of my shows. It was a Tuesday show. I still remember exactly. I said, you know what, man? I'm watching television, and I always see people like Will Smith. Well, it wasn't Will Smith. I see people who are lower in the on the pecking order than Will Smith go on people like Jay Leno or any show in Breakfast Club or what have you, and they go, man, it's so difficult for our movies to get funded. We need to get funded more, right? I hear that all the time, right? And I made the proclamation, I'm not going to see any more movies that I'm not starring in. If it's not a brother starring in it or playing a major role in that movie, I refuse to go to the theaters. Now, since then, we had the worldwide pandemic that shut us down for the last 14 months. But I said that back in 2019. And I got a lot of pushback. I even had a person who has a black husband. She's a black woman. No, I'm going to movies. I'm supporting everybody. But, she made it seem as if, I don't know what she made it. Well, I don't know what the hell she thought. But it was just shocking. I'm like, look, I'm actually speaking up for your husband. But that's neither here nor there. The reason I'm bringing this up is because it's this guy by the name of Roy Fisher. Since we've been on lockdown, there have been 10 billion movies come out. Not exactly, but there's been a lot of movies come out on direct streaming, HBO Max, Amazon Prime, Netflix, and other issues. They coming out and they bombarding us with stuff. The last one of the bigger movies was the Justice League. They reissued the Justice League because of this guy named Jack Snyder and Chris Terry. They walked away from the original and they brought in this doofus named Josh Whedon. And I'm going to call him a doofus because I suspect that he's a racist. And the reason I suspect that he's a racist is because one of the characters who's a superhero, he wanted him to walk around like Quasimodo. And I don't understand how a superhero could be a deformed figure. But, hey, man, this is the United States of America. Anything is possible if you're stupid enough to believe it. You know what I mean? With that being said, him and the guy who played this hero, can't think of his name right now, but it's really not important. It's the brother. He's Cyborg. That's his name. He's half cyborg and he's half man, which I got a problem with the only brother in DC Comics being half computer. That's the only way he could be a superhero. But I'm going to move forward. The people at DC, I will commend them for this. The reason they created Cyborg is to fill the void of the lack of black superheroes in their universe, right? And he had an awesome relationship with his parents, especially his mother. His father was a brainiac. His mom was even smarter. And he was a world-class athlete. And he got, touched by the cyborg. He got melded together. And he became a superhero, an unwilling superhero. And as you saw on the original one, he developed into a willing superhero. Our brother Ray Fisher is no longer going to be a part of that. And he got kicked off the set because he had issues with Josh Whedon, because him and Josh Whedon would clash because of the creation of the character, right? Now, the character, he helped in assisting to create this character. And DC and the people around Disney, ESPN, I'm tying all y'all in, because if y'all can fire, y'all get rid of people for, y'all can fire John Sally for saying the word penis on a radio show after 9 p.m., then y'all should have heard about this and fixed this as well. But that's part of my issue. We keep over-indexing in things and don't get anything from it. This dude right here, Josh Whedon, put this movie out, fired the dude. He was supposed to be part of the Flash movie. They created a character with this guy in mind. because of his background. He comes from a town in New Jersey in which it's the first town to ever be governed by black people. So this is obviously a person from our community that comes from a proud tradition, and he helped create a character to create situations to bring about pride in our community. So we can look at superheroes, and our young people can look at superheroes and aspire to be better than what they are. Yada, 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 this, that, and the third. But he wanted to deform this character, and people didn't say a damn thing about it. And now they've made the remake, and they brought the original director back. And the reason the original director left, just for information purposes, is because his daughter committed suicide. It's understandable for him to walk away. But what is not understandable is for you to put mud on our young brother's name, potentially make him out to be a difficult person. Like what's the sister Monique was saying, people were doing, you just making it seem like I'm difficult. You making it hard for me, yada, 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 this, that, and the third, right? But this was allowed. He was removed from the Flash. I'm not going to go see this Flash here, because I always didn't like the Flash. But that's neither here nor there. There's other people that enjoy the Flash, and they wanted to see this young brother come to the theater, because for one, every time I hear people talk about him, the sisters talking about how fine he is, that's getting people in the theater. And if enough women want to go, you're going to have your man take you, yada. And this is how things progress. It may have been a good movie, Shell. Anybody could have took me, and I'd have been like, oh, okay, well, it is pretty good. Whatever. But these are the things that I'm talking about. We need to be aware of these things. This is what's going on in America since its inception. And I'm going to show y'all a preview of a show that I'll be on Monday. And what I'm going to do, and please tune in to that one as well, because it helps us understand what's going on in these United States of America, because we pretend that things are they're off a little. Oh, see, it's going to improve, and all we have to do is get it right here. No, we need to realize that this is the way it's supposed to be. And we really going to leave it that way, and we need to galvanize amongst each other and move forward and get things taken care of. Because I'm not part of the school of thought that says, there's the bad seeds. And I'm going to get on that bad seed thing in a little while. But the fact that we're supposed to be living in this world of equality, Disney's supposed to be doing what they're doing to ensure that we get opportunities and we get a fair shot. And they're all about fairness and equality. And they let this young brother get his name drugged through the mud. You haven't seen him in anything in a very long time, because probably this dude, Josh Whedon, who has a project coming out soon, we need to be looking out for these things. And we don't have to verbally boycott, because guess what? All we have to do is put, this dude offended us on Twitter. This dude offended us on Facebook. This dude offended us on Instagram and any TikTok and everything else that we on, and then just walk away from it. Let's make an edict of that. Let's say, hey, once you make a mistake, and which is obviously not a mistake, once you stick your foot in your mouth and make an ass of us, we just walk away from you silently. See, because when you openly announce that you're offended, when you know you're offended and people know that they've done offensive things, what you've done is given them the ability to amend the lie that they're living. And we're not in the fix the lie that they're living business anymore, folks. What we're in is, you're going to treat me like I'm supposed to be treated, or you're not going to treat me like anything, because I'm moving. And that's the sad part about this thing. We as a community, we continue to allow people from outside our communities we've been expressing displeasure with the treatment of our community for 400 years. No person, no African that was captured and converted into an indentured servant and forced into indentured servitude for a couple hundred years wanted to be there. If you believe that at any point the brothers and sisters on those plantations wanted to get away, wanted to stay there, then basically we wouldn't have a situation in which people would have been called runaways, would we? No, we wouldn't. No, we wouldn't. No, we wouldn't. Because if we would have, if they'd have been happy, they wouldn't have been trying to run away. So the fact that people have been attempting to run away from these plantations, run away from these laws, most of the laws, just think about this. Look, I'm going to make it real simple. Most of the laws in the United States of America, outside of just the laws of reality, like don't steal, don't kill, and things of that nature, that's part of nature, right? They're made to hold you back. They're made to hold you back. Loitering is a law that came about after the Revolutionary War. The Civil War. Because what do they do after the 14th Amendment? The 14th Amendment says if you commit a crime, you're eligible for slavery again, right? Then loitering comes about because they create the loitering law. If you are standing around doing nothing and you black, you go back to jail, which puts you back into indentured servitude, and then they rent you out for work, and then they don't even have to take care of you. As poorly as the people who call themselves slave masters were taking care of you, these people, they rent you out, you die, and then you just go back to jail, and what they say, hey, shouldn't have broke the law. So what we're going to have to do, folks, is realize this is the world we're living in. People are not making mistakes. This is who they are. And we all have friends, family members, loved ones, neighbors who are awesome and they are not part of our community. We do. But what we're going to do, what I'm asking us to do is this. I'm asking us to do this. I'm asking us to say, hey, they are the good apples. And the good apples are very few. Again, they are the good apples, and the good apples are very few. Anytime you have an election with 170 million people participating, and 74 million of those people vote against what we obviously see is right, and then it's always some technical jerk that's sitting around going, well, Trump wasn't that bad because of this, that, and the third. But by and large, we know this dude. That's a dude who put out a full-page ad in the New York Post asking for the death of 5 young men who were innocent, and he's yet to apologize. We know this is the guy who told a brother, you can't be my accountant because I wanted you counting my money. You set up rules that people that look like us can't get in our getting his rent property from him because that's not what he on. No people that look like us. So you can do one or two good things to my community, but by and large, when you do the bad things are off the chain. So we're not going to give you credit for any of that. But these are the things that I'm talking about. And there are too many people that support that kind of ideology for us to keep making the foolish mistake of saying, hey, the good ones. Because guess what? You don't get the good ones argument. You don't get the good ones argument, people. I'm sorry. You just don't. You do not get the good ones, the good few argument. So we must stop extending that. We must realize that most people in this situation are against us. It's horrible. It's a horrible way to think. But it's called realization of what's going on. Because how are these mistakes consistently being made? Yeah, we know some good people, and we saw on television there were some good people, but Shannon Sharp said it best. When you have a friend, your friend empathizes with what's going on. Because let's talk about some tragedies. You lose your parent, you lose your child, you lose a friend or a relative. Everyone on earth will go, oh my God, that's a horrible thing. Rest in peace to rapper who just passed away today, Black Rob, right? Black Rob passed away. If you tell somebody that Black Rob passed away, no matter what community they're from, they'll go, wow, 50 years old, that's not good. But you tell somebody that a young black man or a young black woman or an old black man or an old black woman got accosted by the police, the first thing that comes out of their mouths is, what did they do? What did they do? No empathy, no sympathy. And then we're foolish enough to play the blame game. Well, I actually had a conversation recently, about 6 months ago. They was talking about somebody, and they was like, yeah, they were talking about the Sandra Bland thing. Well, if Sandra Bland just wouldn't have talked back. But we've seen video when other people talk back and they don't die. So when we continue to make excuses, when we continue to overlook, and we continue to forgive, things never change. I'm going to tell you one thing about American history. The more times you just don't make demands and stand up for what you believe in, the fewer times you get what you want. Open up any history book on earth, and the people who act the fool and the people who protest and withdraw things, they get what they want. And we seem to believe the people at the top have all the power. Well, they may have all the money and they may have all the opportunities, but they don't have all the power. Because guess what? If you're a truck driver, you don't go to work, somebody ain't missing. You're not gonna get your food. You're not gonna get your goods. You're not gonna get anything that you need. So that's the dude at the bottom. If we don't go to work, most people from our community are frontline workers. If we don't go to work, our community runs the nursing game, our community, the medical assistant game. We do operating of the vehicles, transportation. We do that. If we withdraw, then that's why you get things that I call concessions. They say, hey, here you go. Just calm down, so we can continue to be on top and you'll continue to be on bottom. And you think, oh, that's an improvement, but a concession is not an improvement. The original HRap Brown told me that. Malcolm X taught you that. And the reason you know that is he said if somebody sticks a knife 9 inches in your back and they pull it out 6 inches, that's not an improvement, that's a concession. They still want the power of the knife being in your back. But you're not getting any better. But you feel they've taught you to believe that, hey, the whole knife isn't in my back, but you're still hemorrhaging, you still got arteries, yada, 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 this, that, third. And the healing still hasn't taken place. And this is what I want us to understand. When you get people like in Disney that allow this dude, Josh Whedon, to disrespect and misuse our young brother, and we still watch ESPN, we still do all the stuff with Disney, we're buying into what they do. You've had Netflix and Amazon Prime and everybody. That's why this influx of we're going to put this in the black community. We're going to put this in the black community because they understand the power that you don't understand. People tell you, oh man, black people don't vote that much. But then you turn around and you look at the numbers. 98% of black women voted for Joe Biden. 94% of black men. The next group is 63%. We did that. Oh, but why is everybody, the Republican Party and the Democratic Party, voting for? Why are they buying for a group that don't go vote? Because we do. The Asian community just starting to get into voting. The Latino community, they're just starting to get into voting. But we are one block that votes our behinds off. And the propaganda is, well, black people don't vote. But why you want our vote then? If that's like dating a woman, oh, that girl don't cook. Well, I got to have a woman to cook. And every man in the world is trying to date that woman that's not trying to cook, but you doing it. That's foolishness. So start realizing that just because I do this don't mean I'm not in your pocket. Look, I'm in your pocket with the right hand. We continue to do this. And I need us to stop. It's a lower level that we on right now, but if I say something that triggers one of you, and you tell one more person, and they tell one person, and you tell 5, and so forth, so it gets around, and we start to change how we feel. Please stop. The next thing I want to talk about is this young brother who was killed in Minnesota. I'm going to destroy a lot of the nonsense that goes around this young brother's name. This young brother was pulled over because he had a air freshener hanging off his mirror. Now, I'm going to do a backtrack for a second. Do y'all understand? I'm going to give y'all some information that I have. Do you understand how the way the United States of America set up? This young brother and his family could act a fool worldwide, nationwide, and get things resolved. We're so used to arguing at this level, eye to eye. But we need to start arguing up. When we start arguing up, that's when our problems will get resolved. Young brother gets pulled over for air freshener. And again, let me backtrack. Air freshener, I want y'all to keep that in mind. Did you know when you go to a restaurant, if you were to get food poisoning, let's say you get some type of chicken meal, because chicken is the easiest thing to get poisoning from. Salmonella poisoning comes along with chicken. People don't handle it properly. Then bam, salmonella poisoning. The restaurant is on the ropes and they're scared. But did you know, instead of, let's say you go to a small chain like Red Lobster or what was the Italian joint that's nationwide, these nationwide chains, Red Lobster or the Italian place, I can't think of the name of it, and I ain't trying to plug them either. I shouldn't have been plugging Red Lobster. You go get your chicken. You get sick. You complain to the manager. That's your natural chain of thought. Did you know that you can find out who provides the food for Red Lobster and sue them? You can sue them for wages lost, medical bills. You can sue them, Olive Garden. Thank you, Sabrina. You can sue them for wages lost, medical bills, pain and suffering, and all that other stuff you sue. You could potentially sue the Red Lobster or Let Us Entertain You. That's who owns Red Lobster. Let Us Entertain You. You can sue them for that, right? But we are so trained to just go right there with the people in front of us because the United States of America holds the people responsible for delivering the food to Red Lobster. So, this is how you get some of those laws changed. You start, if you get pulled over for having an air freshener hanging off your windshield, hanging off your rearview mirror, you don't only sue the city for injuring that young man, you sue the state for selling hang off the mirror air fresheners. Now the air freshener company gonna be like, hey, wait a minute. Because you notice? Nope. Because if it's a law in place to protect you from food, because food keeps you alive, and you're responsible for your product and what your product does to people, the air freshener company is responsible equally. Because you are not able to freely sell something that will destroy someone. Now you start putting pressure on the air freshener company. Air freshener company start putting pressure on legislation, and that's how you argue up instead of arguing eye to eye. We must start making these corporations responsible for some of the nonsense that they putting out there. Now, is that, some people are, well, that's a stretch. No, it's not. All you have to do is look at the law. If you tune in to Big Illinois Show on Thursday now, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, you will hear his brother Anu consistently say, you need to know the law. See, you have to figure out ways to get these big dogs who you put money in their pocket to roll with you. They may hate your black ass, but that's not the point. You are going to get people on your side to help you fight. Because guess what? You start buying air fresheners, the air freshener company like, wait a minute. You start suing them because you put my life in danger because you sold a product that puts my life in danger. We all got the little air freshener with the tree and I got one. When I heard that's why they pulled them over, I was like, what the hell? I got one. I might get shot today. And I was joking, honestly, but I was thinking that, like, damn. But when you do that, you stop all the foolishness that comes down the pipe. Something else that we have to keep in mind. It's just, man, we continue to do this to ourselves because we blame we victim shame ourselves. Another thing, the news media. The news media spreads propaganda, so why we ain't suing enough of that? You giving half truths because 1981, the fairness doctrine was removed. Ronald Reagan removed the fairness doctrine. Now HRap can own the biggest radio station in Chicago. HRap can own one of the biggest TV stations in Chicago. HRap can own a newspaper in Chicago, and that's illegal. At one point, that was illegal because it was propaganda. I can make you believe what I want you to believe because I heard it on HRap radio. I heard it on HRap TV news. And I read it in this newspaper. I'm programming people. I'm responsible for the things that I put out there. Again, if we start holding people accountable for what they do, then we're safer, not because we'll never be safe. We live in a racist country. I don't want to hear this nonsense. Oh man, my wife is. So what? Your wife is dope because she looked through the nonsense. My best friend is. He's dope. Because he looked through the nonsense. I got a cousin, I got a friend, I got a neighbor. Cool, those are allies. We have very few allies. We have very few allies. And y'all don't want to admit it. We have very few allies. Because if it wasn't, if we had tons of allies like you are led to believe, the problems wouldn't exist. Because it'll be very few people doing it. This young brother got shot. He got pulled over because he had a warrant. And then what comes out? He was warrant because he had weed. Minnesota decriminalized marijuana, people. Minnesota decriminalized marijuana. So, if you decriminalize marijuana, how do you have a warrant for marijuana? You know how? Because the Minnesota law, got this from an attorney in Minnesota. She's a professor, teaching law in Minnesota, lives there and from there. He was arrested for having a joint in his pocket. It was a citation. He got a citation. He had to go to court for the citation. He didn't show up, and he got put on a payment plan for the citation. He missed the payment because he's a young dummy. We've all been there. A lot of us have been there. Now, some of us are straight laced and do everything the right way, and it's understandable. I commend you for it. And others of us do things the way we want to do it. And when we're young, that's what they call it, young and dumb. Young and experienced. That's what we do. So, what it is called a non-legal, it's not an illegal action. He's not even charged with a crime. It's a non-criminal act. That's what it's called, a non-criminal act. So, the officer, who's a trainer, knew that. She just wanted to harass him. And she killed him for no reason at all. This leads me to Kim Potter. She quit her job. 26 years on the force. She quit her job. And we're supposed to feel sympathy for her. See, this is what the homie Corey Holcomb calls, they walked her through the game. She quit her job because it looks like she had some form of empathy. And Kim Potter is a dictionary definition of the example of a person that I hate, that hates me. The police hate the black community, y'all. And I hate them back. I don't know about y'all, I hate them back. If I don't know you as a cop, I hate you. I used to try to, up until this very episode, I used to try to say, hey man, I don't hate all of them. I hate the police. The police took one of the most important things for me in my life, and that's my pops. Never got to meet him. The police have embarrassed me on several occasions. Police have physically attacked me on several occasions. So I hate the police. And they hate me back, but they hated me before I hated them. My dumb ass got a degree in criminal justice. And I got a degree because it was the easiest degree. But that's neither here nor there. That was the easiest. I looked at the syllabus and said, yeah, I can do this with my eyes closed. I got the criminal justice degree. But the police hate us, man. And I don't want to hear this nonsense. Oh, man, not all police. Well, as I stated on Big Illinois Show Thursday, if we're dealing with a good apple, bad apple situation, where are the good apples? And I don't want to hear about nobody giving out candy and buying ice cream for kids who end up at January 6th at the insurrection, trying to storm the Capitol so they can kill Nancy Pelosi on TV. Remember, twisty ties, bombs, nooses, but you're not racist. But I'm not doing that. There are very few good apples on the police report. Dan Allen, I know Dan Allen, he a good apple. LeBron, he a good apple. A few more of them good apples. The rest of them are dirty. Because if you're not willing, don't walk through the black community and tell my brothers and sisters, y'all need to kill that stop snitching. And it's very rare that the stop snitching works behind the blue wall and the blue this and the blue that. And then they create situations against us. Black lives matter. All lives matter. Asian lives matter. Yup. See what I mean? See, we're going to get out of this mentality that people don't hate us. I'm going to pull us out. I'm going to pull the people who support my show out of that nonsense. And you're going to support your family out of it. And we're going to be okay. Because once we identify that we definitely have allies that love us and they are our friends and they rock with us, they are in the minority. The homie Vince Wright was on the radio the other day talking about he's scared to take a walk in his community. Vince Wright he has a blended culture family. He lives in a nice neighborhood, he says, and now he's afraid to walk. But if it's only a few bad apples, then why is Vince Wright scared to walk in his neighborhood? Why? And the irony is, Minnesota is culturally diverse. I know more people. I got a ton of homies that are married outside of their culture in Minnesota. So you would think this would be the last place that is going down. But if it's going down in Minnesota, just imagine how it's going in Iowa or Kentucky or Tennessee or those places where people don't mind just being. I hate the N-word because I ain't gonna say that word no more publicly. I might say it with the homies, but I'm not saying it no more. Just imagine how bad it is there. If you don't understand what I'm saying, there's this police officer in Buffalo 17 years ago saw her partner choking a dude out and pushed him off the dude. Her words, and I quote, "If I would have let that choking continue, I think that guy would have been dead." Black woman. For the last 15 years, she, after that, got fired and has been fighting for 15 years, and she just got a pension this week. 15 years. That's that one good apple. And how the hell are you fighting for 15 years because you saw your partner choking a man almost to death and stopped him? And serve and protect. It's the monitor. It's the goal. How is serve and protect? And I stopped you from what it looks like choking somebody to death, and I get fired for it. Good apple, and then fight 15 years for that. SRC just said she wanted a pension. Here's the caveat. I'm telling you to learn this from the lawyer homie. If she gets convicted, which more than likely she won't, she loses her pension. Folks, brothers, ladies, gentlemen, haters, bitter friends, this is what I want y'all to understand. These are acts of hate. These are not misunderstandings. I've been hearing people I listen to a lot of pro-black talk radio, obviously. I read a lot of pro-black newspapers, obviously. I look at a lot of YouTube for pro-blackness, obviously. I pay attention to this. Because I love my folks. I love all people that ain't cops. But I love my people first. With that being said, I keep hearing people say, see, it's supposed to be the dominant hand versus the weak hand. And the weak hand, and if you do this, we need to reform the system. And if the system said this and this, and you just don't want to realize, brothers and sisters, folks hate us. Say it. Say it to yourself. Because guess what? If I was your significant other, women, If I was your significant other and I put my hands on you consistently, you would not go, see, if I just moved a cocktail table over, he wouldn't hit his knee on it, and then he wouldn't have whooped me today. You wouldn't come up with excuses for why I'm violating your humanity. So we're going to have to stop coming up with reasons for people that violate our humanity. You got Senator Kennedy. I couldn't find the videos. I would have played it. You got Senator Kennedy of Louisiana talking about those people hate the police. Though some people are prone to crime. See, that's what's called a dog whistle. And when you have a dog whistle, you are threatening someone's life. When you resort to a dog whistle, you are telling people, those people over there are not like us. And if they're not like us, they're less than. If they're less than, then we can do what we want. They don't see us as human beings. They see us as animals. And what do you do with animals? People treat animals right, and they mistreat them all the time. We got to come to grips with this. This is the reality of the United States of America. I'm not telling you to dislike one person. I'm not telling you to do away with anybody. What I am telling you is there are people in the world that don't like us, that pretend to. If you do not have empathy for a community that is being terrorized by the police department and the news, if you don't think the news is terrorizing you, please explain to me why you hardly look. To use dumbass Charles Barkley, dumbass Jason Whitlock, dumbass Tommy Sotomayor, dumbass Candace Owens ideology, more white people last year got shot than black people. White people make up 60% of the population. Black people make up 15% of the population, which is 4 times as many. But 900 and some change of white people got shot, and 600 and some change of black people got shot. That is a disproportion. So therefore, you're terrorizing us because you're giving us half the story, and you're making people believe that we are overreacting. Yeah. I actually heard somebody call the show about that young boy, Adam Toledo, who got shot here in Chicago. He's not from my community, but he's a young boy who got shot. Kids shouldn't be getting shot under no circumstance. Nobody should be getting shot, but damn sure not no damn kids. This person said, this is how the media has ruined our mental. This lady called the show and said, boy, I got an issue with his parents. What is he doing outside? Who gives a damn why he's outside? How you know that person he was with wasn't his uncle, his father, or whatever? His brother? You don't know who that other person was. They never announced who the other person was. His legal guardian. He could have been anybody. He could have been taking him home because he saw him outside. We don't know, even though we do know it wasn't that. But I got an issue with his parents. So you got an issue with somebody who got murdered parents? Well, he did have a gun on him. He threw it away. Exactly. He threw the gun away. And then, I guarantee y'all, if y'all go to YouTube and look up 3 or 4 of those videos, 3 or 4 of those videos got that boy standing there like this. Last time I checked, this is the surrender pose. So how did he get shot? I was scared. Look, man. Police officers, if you scared out there, you need to start praying. Damn, get a dog. You need to start praying. You'll need that job because they need to know if you can fight. Maybe they need to have some people who they had. If you can't get you ain't won 3 or 4 fights in your life, fist fights. Maybe you don't need to be on the police force. You can't get a gun. Maybe they need to put that in the gun laws. Can you fight? And then just pull somebody from the back. And if you can fight, then you get your gun. If you can't fight, nah, go on back there and get you a slingshot or something. Maybe that's what needs to happen. I don't know. I'm being facetious, but it's just ridiculous, man. We're trained to look for the bright side when it's cops, look for the dark side when it's us. Because all you see on TV is people like me and you, who, if you're not from my culture, thank you for tuning in. I really appreciate it. But people that look like this with this type of skin, a little lighter, a little darker, way lighter, way darker, either way, we in all directions. You only see us breaking laws. And I've said this time and time again. If you only see me breaking laws on TV and the Russian people are doing the human trafficking, the Mexican mafia doing the heroin trafficking, and the Chinese mafia doing the opioid thing, why in the hell why in the hell you only see us on TV breaking laws? Please stop. But y'all believe it. Y'all keep believing it. Y'all keep believing it, man. I keep telling y'all, man, I've been saying this shit I've been saying it without sports for a year. I've been saying it in sports for 5 years. These are the racist tendencies of the people who are on the other side of this. It's not, again, I'm going to say it every time I end a sentence because it's some new people coming in and out all the time. Stop telling me about your cool-ass white friend because that's an ally. If he rocking with you, then he or she is rocking with you, okay, cool. That's an ally. But you don't have as many allies as you have adversaries, man. You hate it. You hate it. And I keep telling y'all, look. A few months ago, I started bringing up the ancestors. Oh, man, I told y'all, your ancestors will guide you through life. If we slow down, this is why you meditate and pray. When you pray, you talk to God. When you meditate, you listen to God. You slow down and God will guide you. These are your ancestors guiding you as well. The universe continues to run in parallels. The universe runs in parallels. It's nothing changes in the universe. It continues to rotate until you pick up the lesson. I'm going to give you an eerily similar situation so you can realize that your ancestors keep showing you things until you get the lesson. Hey, it's not about hate. It's about self-preservation. It's the first law of nature. Shout out to my aunt Lorraine Williams, who should say that faithfully. Let's go back 50 years. Our brother, 52 years ago, Fred Hampton, was assassinated by the Chicago Police Department, along with the Federal Bureau of Investigations, along with the state's attorney here in Chicago, Illinois. It was a conspiracy to annihilate our brother. Period. Right? We know it. Anybody who you saw Judas and the Black Messiah, you saw all this. And there it is. That was conspiracy. But watch how the ancestors tell you, watch out. Watch out. This is what's going on. Be aware. Fred Hampton's mother babysat Emmett Till. Let that sink in. Emmett Till was brutally murdered on the strength of a lie of a person for the last 60 years. People would have said, oh, sister girl, cool. People in her community would say, oh, she's so nice, right? She told a damn lie and got our young brother destroyed. Fast forward a few years, we still didn't get the message. The ancestors showed us Fred Hampton, and those same people who went along with that lie to destroy Emmett Till destroyed Fred Hampton. Fast forward 50 years, our brother Big George Floyd is annihilated. He's choked to death in front of the world. Trauma porn is what I choose to call it because it's like pornography, but it's traumatic. They show us getting hurt every day to keep us in line. But we won't wake up. We will not wake up. Showed us George Floyd die. It traumatically impacted you. Don't mess with the police. The whole world stood up, and we still didn't get it because we think everybody got our back. And then this Asian thing show up, and everybody get behind the Asians. They tell us we crying. Not a problem. But this couple weeks ago or last week or whenever it was, young brother in Minnesota gets shot in the back. He gets shot by a cop for no reason. And guess what? George Floyd's girlfriend is his former teacher. You see how history continues to touch itself. We continue to see history. Our ancestors say, hey, enough y'all ain't seeing. Enough y'all ain't seeing. Okay, I'll show you. If you don't believe me, watch this. George Floyd, born in Galveston, Texas, gets murdered. Everybody finds out about a holiday that we don't traditionally know about from Galveston, Texas, called Juneteenth. George Floyd is murdered the 30th Memorial Day of 2020. Guess what happened 100 years before that? The Tulsa, Oklahoma thing is 100 years old. Our ancestors will continue to say, hey, we did learn. But we refuse to learn. We refuse to learn. And if you continue to refuse to learn, these lessons will repeat themselves. And Lord willing, they don't repeat in your family because we don't want that. I don't want that. I damn sure, hey, I'm going to act a MF fool if my boy get hurt. I'm not on TV. I'm not on TV. I'm so after the fool. My daughter, my boy get hurt. Any of my friends, you connected to me, we getting it. We gonna act a fool, and I'm not being reasonable. No, there'll be no thoughts. But I'm just trying to get, before we get to some nonsense like that, before we get to the destruction of more young people who are the people who should be fighting these fights right now, we should be advising them. Just realize these things, man. The police hate us. Most people outside of our community hate us. That's why they are able to get away with it. No way. If everybody who say they down was really down, or better yet, if it took the choking out of George Floyd to make you go, man, black people really getting mistreated. What the hell is wrong with you? Unless you're 20 and younger. Unless you're 25 and younger. I'll give you 25 and younger than maybe. But if it took all that, exactly. That's another. Read the screens. My brother RC just put something else. Bonita, she been rocking on it. Watch the screen too. The screen is valuable. That's why I went to the screen so you can see what the people see. Just doing this talk, you don't see what people in the chat room say because I'm expressing my opinions. But my brothers and sisters who support me, they bringing the funk just as hard as me. But we have to come to the realization that we're being attacked. This show was brought to you, and before I continue, I have to let you know this show was brought to you by Forecast Podcast. It's on Monday, 9 p.m. Here's a preview of what they're going to be talking about Monday. Yes, I am a part of that. Please pay attention to this. It is important. These things are important. Check it out.
Here is the story we have been told in Columbus's travel journal. They were discovered. But there is no such thing as alternative facts. There is something we need to talk about. 3 words that summarize the whole history of humanity. Civilization, colonization, extermination. This is the origin of the ideology of white supremacy. And I just want to understand, why do I bring myself into this story? Because I am an immigrant from a shithole country. Neutrality is not an option. So you best up. It's time to own up to a basic truth. A story of survival and violence. We know now what their task truly is. Exterminate all the brutes. It's not knowledge we lack. You already know enough. What is missing is the courage to understand what we know. Who are we? What if, from the beginning, the story was told the wrong way? The nightmare is buried deep in our consciousness, so deep that we do not recognize it. Over over the centuries. We must all bear it. Because the past has a future we never expect.
And I've returned. Thank you for watching that. That will be the topic for Forecast Monday. If you watch that series, you got HBO. A lot of us got HBO, and that's gonna be on HBO. That's on HBO right now. It basically walks you through the brutality of the community that I'm damning right now. Seriously, it shows you the brutality that these people inflicted on the entire world. And it's centered around people that look like this and darker and lighter. And like I told you, we in every direction. Real light, real dark, kind of light, kind of dark, and in the middle. We that. We every series of the rainbow. But this is what I'm trying to get you to understand. Forecast Monday, 9 p.m. Mess with me, man. Mess with me. Me, Ivan, Ben, Wilkes. We bring in the funk and we want you to enjoy it and engage as well, because these are the things that we need to talk about. This ain't about hating no damn body. See, they get on TV, and when you speak against tyranny and oppression and things like that, they go, oh man, you hate this. I hate getting my ass kicked. I hate watching the TV and seeing my sisters get brutalized, see my brothers get murdered, see all this nonsense that's going on in our community. And then we got dumbasses that, oh man, you ain't got room to be hating nobody. Nah, man. If you hurting people on purpose, you the hater, not me. How am I wrong for telling the world you ain't SHIT? You know, I ain't got time for that. If you dumb enough to believe that me telling the world that people hate my folks is bad, then that's your hard ass left. I don't have no time. I'm not going to debate it with you. Yeah, you stay stupid. You stay in that little cocoon, and then guess what? When we build this fort called the black community, and we start enriching each other, and we start loving on each other, we start uplifting each other, you are not invited. You are not invited. No, you can come to, we'll feed you. You know, that this fictional cookout that we have, you are not invited to the cookout. But if you come to the gate, we'll throw you a plate. You can sit outside and listen to the good music. We play some Frankie Beverly real loud. Let's listen to it. But no. We're not inviting you in, because if you could be duped for this long, if you're not 25 and younger, if you could be duped for that long and not realize what's really going on, we don't want to be bothered with you, because you're a distraction and a disruption to the progression of our folks. Period. The police don't like us, man. Realize that. They are against you. They're not against some of us. They're not fighting for the criminals. Because guess what? You know what's ironic about this whole thing that we've been dealing with on TV and on the news about the police? They ain't shot now criminal. They have shot not one criminal. How in the hell do law enforcement, the upholders of the law, not mistakenly kill one criminal? Philando Castile, not a criminal. Mike Brown, not a criminal. Freddie Gray, killed by some brothers, black police officers. Wasn't a criminal. Tamir Rice, wasn't a criminal. He's 11. He don't even look like, man, he big for his age. That dude looked 11. And y'all killed him. Oh no, it ain't personal. We just make mistakes. How many times do you stub your toe? How many times do you bump your head? How many times do you do all this stuff that brings injury to people, to yourself? Those are mistakes. How many times have anybody been here been in multiple home fires? That's a mistake. That's a mistake. Murdering several people. And see, look. The state of Minnesota, Minneapolis, and the city of Minnesota should have been on high alert with Philando Castile, Then George Floyd, like, oh, hold it, slow down. Don't fuck up. They should have been in their meetings. People, we're going to do our best. We're going to make sure we get home. Make sure, blah, 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 whatever they said that morning meeting or that afternoon, that shift meeting. But please, unless it is necessary, no deadly force. We do not need any more additional attention. How's that not said at every meeting? And then you come out and kill 2 more people out of Philando Castile. Everybody want to make this, oh man, see, the brother that got all that time. I keep telling y'all, it's bigger than that. If everybody, look, this is what you do, folks. This is what I want you to do. Look at this dual citizenship. The reason our brother from Senegal, the Muslim brother, is in jail is because that lady was a citizen of Australia, from not either Austria or Australia, I'm not sure. Her consulate came to the United States of America and said, what's up with our citizen getting murdered by mistake? What are y'all going to do? Y'all going to have problems with us. And the United States State Department probably called the state of Minnesota. State of Minnesota called yada, yada, yada. This, that, and that's the progression of this all. What if you had Barbados, dual citizenship, Aruba, a country in Africa, find another country that, you know, go to one of these countries, France, and all y'all seem to love. A lot of sisters and brothers love France. So start looking into these things, because then if you got dual citizenship, if you get murdered here in America, guess what happens? Your State Department will reach out and then your family will get justice. Learn the laws. Learn the laws. I'm just trying to help, man. I'm not trying to stir up nothing but your mental. Man, again, as I stated, man, y'all need to be on YouTube, subscribe, like, comment, because then your comments will be on the screen, like my man RC, and he bringing the pain. My man Steve Lattis bringing the pain. My sister Benita's bringing the pain. Look, I want you to support the bill for this network. Hell yeah, because that's me and my partners. But I also want you to engage on here too, because this medium seems to be a little more lucrative in regards to response to what I'm saying. I get my people from the other networks support me, and I freaking love it. I freaking love it when the HSM crew come, Ramal, Wade, and Angie and that crew, and all those people over there support. Man, much love, and I'm supporting y'all. Ramal, DJ Ramal, send me notifications. That's why I'm in y'all joints. We gonna build this whole thing to something that can't be stopped. But while we building it, I'm here trying to build our mental and put us in the best possible situation. This is not on me, it's in me. I don't even kick it no more, man. I be so engulfed in this nonsense, man. Again, they are not afraid of us. I've never seen somebody walk towards this. Again, Adam Toledo is chased down an alley, and the police officer said he feared his life. If you really fear does not chase anything. If you're going that way, fear makes you go this way. Oh man, he went down a dark alley, he got away. They don't fear you. That's a lie, so they can kill you. Because when you're afraid, you do irrational things. You do irrational things. You murder young black people. You murder young black people because you're scared. Then and the people who claim to be your allies, as Shannon Sharp say, you ain't no black person's friend. You just know black people. If you just know black people because you don't have no empathy for black people, then guess what? You allow somebody to shoot one and don't give a damn about it because they was trying to get home. Fuck that. Hey, bro, had I chose to go to the police department, I just had to do it, man. So let me ask you this: Why you ain't never in fear for your life when you arrest the white folks? That's all I got. That's all I got, man. Why you ain't in fear for your life when it's time? It's just a nonsense. It's just nonsense, man. It's nonsense. We must stop allowing this foolishness to be portrayed as reasonable activity and behavior. It's not. Killing our folks is not reasonable. Because guess what? Do stuntmen, oh man, that's too high thing to jump up. No, because that's part of the job. Why ain't no firemen busting in the wrong houses? Oh, we thought it was a fire in here. Nah. You ain't heard F the fire department. No songs. Because they ain't doing nothing. Matter of fact, remember the fire department tried to save our brother George Floyd. And you said no. But you got these white senators. You got these white state representatives and all this saying, well, we guess. And if y'all don't think we are hated, but by the majority of that community, any other community outside, the majority of the people outside of our community and some of the people in our community, we're hated by. If you don't believe that, how the hell did that law get passed in Georgia? How is Arizona trying to create the same law? How is Philadelphia working on the same law? And 43 other states trying to work on the same kind of laws. To make it illegal to hand somebody waiting to get a vote a cup of water. So, in Georgia, they made it illegal to be humane. But if you got a dog or a baby or something like that, we don't want no abortions. Don't hurt dogs. Lock Michael Vick up for hurting dogs. Yeah, the Lord don't want you killing babies. This abortion is wrong. If I catch you getting one of these black folks a bottle of water out in this hot Georgia sun, you going to jail. Make that make sense. Allow me to make another transition. I want to talk about civil rights leaders and civil rights activists and attorneys. Most of our favorite civil rights people are the great Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and the late great, for both of them, Malik El Haj Baz, Malcolm X, Dr. King. They died penniless. And thanks to good people during that period, their funerals were paid for by the public. And most people seem to reference, Dr. King died broke. Why you got so much money? Why in the hell do we want our people who are the people who actually doing work? Man, these pork chop preachers, get rid of them. But there's some good preachers out here and some good activists out here. Tamika Mallory, my man Wilkins, and he works with Stacey Abrams. They started the voting things. Sister Tasha Brown, and it's too many on the name, man. And I made sure I remembered his name this week because I always forget his name. It's a brother down there doing good things with Black Votes Matter too. Souls to the polls. He doing all that, right? What's wrong with them living good lives? They are getting death threats. They are going town to town to make sure our folks get their rights properly, hoping to help us engage in the electoral process, hoping to enhance our lives. Am I telling you that they need Bentleys and they need to be living in the house like the Fresh Prince? No, I'm not saying that, man. But they shouldn't be paupers either. Had it not been for 1977, a civil case against the United States federal government for wrongful endangerment, y'all didn't even know that. Y'all didn't know the government paid Dr. King family money to kill it, did y'all? Yeah. 1977, look it up. Had it not been for that, Coretta Scott King might have been having a hell of a time raising them damn kids, man. Or maybe Belafonte and the rest of Sidney Poitier and those dudes would have helped. I don't know. But how much would we expect them to help? We shouldn't want our leaders who are doing quality work to walk around as paupers. Because I got people trying to kill me. I got people trying to frame me. It's somebody in my crew that's a plant by the man. Inside joke. Some people know me that know that inside joke. But it is. It's a Judas in my camp, leaking information to the media, leaking information to everybody in the world to take me down every day. And now y'all want me to walk around as a pauper. No, that's not cool, folks. That's not cool. Tamika Mallory should be driving around in a very nice car and living in a very nice place so she can take care of her son, who probably getting death threats too. So is Stacey Abrams. These people need to be living good lives because they doing good work. Now you got bums that don't do nothing. I'm not going to name nobody because that's not my job. My job is to hopefully have some thought-provoking commentary and put some thought-provoking people in front of you so we can get better. But I want us to stop dissing every Manny, Mo, and Jack who tries to help and micromanage every single solitary word that they say. Because now you're smarter than the rest of us, and you said some powerful things about somebody who's dedicated their lives to trying to help you. But you haven't done anything but be a critic. Remember, people like RC and Big Illinois and my other hip-hop junkies, we used to hate critics. Rap critics. We used to hate them. And now the critic is the most popular guy in the world. But I need us to stop paying attention to these nerds and these naysayers and these rebel routes, because what that is continuing to do is divide and conquer us. Just imagine, man. Look at the world we live in. We've heard about our great ancestor, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and his indiscretions. But that's not our business, because guess what? He did hella good things. And if that's one of his infractions, that's his business. If Coretta Scott King's willing to ride with him till the wheels fell off, then that is her and his business. That's their business. That's how, as we say, that's how they get down. We don't need to be in anybody's personal life. If you're doing the work of the Creator, no matter what you call them, you helping my brothers and my sisters, my aunts, uncles, nieces, nephews, cousins, neighbors, nationwide, because we all cousins. African tradition says there's no such thing as an aunt and an aunt. So all y'all my brothers and sisters. So how we tripping if one of our brothers fall down? You can forgive your cousin, brother, uncle, aunt, significant other for cheating, or whatever indiscretion you forgiving people for. If one of these leaders who's doing good work has an issue that's personal inside of his house, leave that inside his house. Stop letting the TV get you to hate somebody. See, he ain't perfect. He never said he was perfect. He said he was here to help. But she never said she was perfect. She said she was here to help. Perfection is what they're chasing. But we're not going to let perfection be an enemy of good. Period. My brother Ben Crump, he is not a trial lawyer. I'm going to say that again. He is not a trial lawyer. He is not Johnny Cochran, even though Johnny Cochran started off the same way, fighting civil rights cases in Los Angeles, California. Look it up. He is not a trial lawyer. His job is to make the people pay financial duty for destroying our brothers and sisters. That is his job. He's not there to do what Johnny Cochran did, what Billy Martin does, and what other defense attorneys do. So when Ben Crump gets the family money, that's his job. His job is not to litigate in a courtroom and fight. He's not a prosecuting attorney. He's a civil rights attorney. He fights for personal injury. And if he wasn't, the insult for him would be ambulance chaser. So when you say Ben Crump ain't even do nothing, they didn't even lock nobody up. Ben Crump, he did his job. Ben Crump is the dude at the very top of the show. I started talking about how to sue other people. Ben Crump is who you go get when a restaurant does something discriminatory against you, that's who Ben Crump is. He's not Johnny Cochran. So no, Ben Crump isn't wrong. Stop letting that damn idiot box make you an idiot, because you're not. You're hurting. You're hurting. I'm hurting. We're hurting. So anytime somebody say something, it ain't working for us, he against us. Start doing that shit to the police. Stop doing that. Having that same energy against politicians. They use that damn same pothole in front of your house since 1965. The light been out on your corner for 8 months. That's Ben Crump is a, no disrespect, Brother Crump. He's an ambulance chaser. He's there to get the money. He's there to get you compensation for your pain and suffering. He's not there to litigate in a courtroom you see, he's not Johnny Cochran. He's Ben Crump. Hey, you ever notice this? If Ben Crump was a detriment to the black community, why in every town you see 4 or 5 black lawyers standing behind him? Those are not his employees. Those are people that's part of the Black Bar Association in that town. They're supporting him because Brother Ben Crump is doing the right thing. Brothers and sisters, get off our folks' back. Get mad at everybody but us, and then we get mad at everybody else. With that being said, here comes the Black History Moment. I love sharing this. It's my favorite part of the show. I love enhancing people about our community, about the good people that we never talked about and that you never learned about. I will be back shortly because this is a dope segment. Holla at your boy.
With Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Well, there were over 100 black business districts throughout the United States, one of which was perhaps the most wealthy and the biggest was in Durham, North Carolina. In the early 20th century, Parish Street in Durham, North Carolina was the hub of African-American business activity. This 4-block district was also known as Black Wall Street. Although other cities had similar districts, Durham's was one of the most vital and was nationally known. Parish Street bordered the Haiti community, Durham's main African-American residential district, and the two districts together served as the center of black life in Durham. Elsewhere in North Carolina, in the depths of the Jim Crow era, race relations were as bad as they ever had been, but Durham's black business district thrived. In 1906, the North Carolina Mutual Life Insurance Company, the nation's largest black-owned insurance company, moved its headquarters to Parish Street. It was soon joined by the mechanics of Farmers Bank, and the founder of the North Carolina Mutual also invested in real estate and textiles. National leaders W.E.B. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington both visited the city in 1912 and 1910 respectively and praised black entrepreneurship. During a time period when disenfranchising blacks and openly violating their rights was common, the black populations of Durham were making strides in business that challenged the legitimacy of white supremacy. Black-owned business in Durham can be traced back to the efforts of 2 African-American entrepreneurs, John Merritt and Charles Spaulding. This district was able to increase African-American wealth. The region also promoted basic social reconstruction for blacks. The southern United States were left in tumult in the few decades of Reconstruction following the Civil War. During the late 1800s, most of these southern regions were rebuilding infrastructure damaged by war. Racial tensions were at an all-time high due to the recent emancipation of all black slaves and the new economic and social competition they represented in many of their white eyes. But though these African Americans had been freed, their quality of life saw little improvement. Estimates from government officials say almost 85% of blacks were living below the poverty line during the late 1800s. Automatically placed at the bottom of the social ladder, blacks were denied virtually all rights afforded to whites. The emergence of John Merrick changed the identity of black businessmen. Merrick was able to reach prominence in his community through his long-standing friendship with Washington Duke. Originally a barber by profession, Merrick gained enough money through the income and loans to open North Carolina Mutual Life Insurance, which was later expanded with the efforts of Charles Spaulding. John Henry Merrick, insurance agent, entrepreneur, business owner, was born in Clinton, North Carolina on September 7, 1859. Merrick was born a slave. When he was not shining shoes, he watched and learned the trade of barbering. In 1880, his friend John Wright asked Merrick to join him in relocating in Durham, North Carolina to start a new barbershop business. He bought and built rental properties, and by the end of the decade, Merrick was one of the largest property owners in Haiti. Merrick then joined the two other Durham business, Dr. Aaron M. Moore and Charles Clinton Spaulding, to create the Merrick Moore Spaulding Land Company. In 1883, the Power Group joined other prominent businessmen to purchase the Royal Knights of King David, a fraternal lodge which had a budding insurance business. The Royal Knights of King David provided inexpensive insurance policies to lodge members. Often, this was the only insurance available to African Americans in the Durham area. The lodge and its insurance business expanded across 6 southeastern states over the next 25 years. Merrick is most remembered as one of the founders of the North Carolina Mutual Provident Life Insurance Company, which eventually became the largest black-owned insurance company in the United States. Charles Spaulding was an African-American business leader. For close to 30 years, he presided over North Carolina Mutual Life Insurance Company, which had assets over $40 million. Aaron McDuffie Moore was the first black medical doctor of Durham, North Carolina, and a prominent leader in the African American community based in the part of the city known as Haiti. He is best known for founding the Lincoln Hospital, a medical facility that served Negro patients during a time of racial segregation. Through philanthropic works and business enterprises, Dr. Moore played a significant role in improving the standard of living African Americans in Durham, in addition to improving the healthcare and economy. William Garrison Pearson was born a slave in Durham County on April 11, 1859. After he was freed, he worked at the car factory with General Julian S. Carr. The owner recognized his potential and financed his education at Shore University. Pearson graduated from Shore with a BS in 1886 and received an honorary MA in 1890. He was awarded an honorary PhD from Kittrell College in 1915 and Wilberforce University in 1919. On June 6, 1893, Pearson married Minnie Sumner of Charlotte, a teacher. The area saw a steady increase of population, wealth, and diversity of occupation. By 1890, the number of colored people in Durham was 1,858, or 33.8% of the total population. The year 1910 exhibited an increase of over 200% in the total population, and the African American population was approximately 38% of the total population. It is clear that whites were not impeding the development of this population in light of their own endeavors. The numbers based on wealth were even more staggering. The total valuation of black property in the country was about $9,000 in 1890. By 1920, this valuation skyrocketed to an astounding $4.2 million. Ladies and gentlemen, it is clear. Once again, this shows that when left alone, our people thrive. Just give us the ball, let a player play, and move out the way. These are some of the people who thrived during that era. And these are some of the buildings on Parish Street in Durham, North Carolina, known as Black Wall Street. Even after accounting for inflation, the level of growth for Black Wall Street was incredible. Booker T. Washington mentioned in his commentary of Durham the level of vocational diversity. He wrote that he had never seen a city of this size, so many prosperous blacksmiths, wheelwrights,
Thank you for paying attention to that. I had to cut it short because you're going to do 10 minutes on this platform. Or I could have played it on another way, but that's neither here nor there. Thank y'all for tuning in. This is Built for This Network. This is HRap on Build and Destroy the End of the Bench. I want to thank y'all for continuing to tune in, man. Thank you. Thank you for the time. Thank you for the love. Much love, brother. These are the things I need us to know about, man. This is why I do the history segment, and then I might even start the health and wellness thing up again because we have to know these things. Shout out to Karen Hunter, Dr. Greg, Carla Marquez for making me come to the realization we need to be healthy, wealthy, and wise. Laurie Favors, Clay Kane, Joe Madison as well. You know, the whole Urban View family. Have the beat. Hip hop in the building at all times. But I have to show these things, man, so we can just stop thinking these things like the Tulsa, Oklahoma, which 100-year anniversary in about a little more than a month. These are anomalies. Oh, wait, it only happened over there. No, it happened all over the country, and people proceeded to destroy it systematically or little by little or with their reign of terror. I don't want us to believe that we think, when we do well, it's like hitting the lottery. No. As the man say, give us the ball, let a player play, and watch how we prosper every day, all day. Which brings me to my last point before I check out today. And that is, y'all know me, man. HBCUs are in my blood. It's a family tradition. It's what I do. HRap love the HBCUs at all times, And recently, there's been an influx of what we would call NFL and NBA former superstars that are transitioning to the coaching world down there at HBCUs. And the reason I say down there because primarily they're mostly in the South outside of Wilberforce, which is in the Midwest. Shout out to Wilberforce University. But as you see, when you start looking at the history of the great people in our community, these people come from HBCUs as well. Most of them. Now, they planted in your mind that Harvard, Yale, yada, yada, yada. This is where you go and get your quality education, and nobody's going to respect your HBCU education. And good, don't. And then when I come in and kick your ass and show you that being taught by somebody that looks like me, enriched by somebody that looks like me, and having a culture by somebody that looks like me makes me a superhero, then you'll regret it. And you'll deal with those regrets for the rest of your life or the rest of your existence. Now, the reason I bring this up, I recently retired from talking about sports on air. I'm still a sports junkie. I still love it, but I retired from it. It's not my get down anymore. It's not. It ran its course. But I am going to continue to talk about sports in regards to HBCUs. I think mainstream America set up Shannon Sharpe this week. Shannon Sharpe is one of our greatest advocates in regards to speaking up for the community on TV today. There's no doubting it. I'm never going to waver from that. I ain't asking. Shannon Sharpe ain't never asked nobody to agree with him. I'm not asking you to agree with everything he says. I disagree sometimes. I agree with sometimes. But this is the conniving ways of the people who control the mainstream media. Shannon Sharpe is a very analytical brother. Shannon Sharpe is genetically predisposed at this point. It's in his subconscious, it's in his spirit to look at things, analyze them fairly, and then spit out the prognoses by looking at facts. Because this is where people mess up. Oh, that's my opinion, and that is the stupid person's way to get out of everything. I can say 8 plus 8 is 29. That's my opinion. But if your opinion isn't based on fact, your opinion is worthless. And Shannon Sharpe primarily bases his opinions on fact. Now, he going to get into the I love LeBron thing. LeBron is better than Jordan. That's when it is a pure opinion. But even then, he has documentation to support what he's saying. It's whether it's up to you to like or dislike. And that's what it's about. They asked Shannon Sharp this week about, shout out to my brother Eddie George, and shout out to my brother Juan Dixon from the University of Maryland, the University of Ohio State, for getting HBCU jobs. And they said, they posed the question perfectly for our brother Shannon. They said, Shannon, is this going to put a dent in everything? And Shannon gave the analytical truth answer. He said, man, see, it's going to be hard to get 5-star recruits. If you don't get 5-star recruits, it's hard to compete on a high level. If you can't compete on a high level, you may lose the job. That is the honest to God truth. If you don't get, it ain't always about the X's and the O's. It's about the Willies and the Joes. That's just the way it goes. And I really didn't try to rhyme because my name is Brian and that was on time. But I'm tripping. Back to the real one. It's not about the X's and the O's. It's about the Willies and the Joes. You got to grade it. All the plays work. Shout out to Jimmy Fields. Shout out to Willie Green. All the plays work. That's what they taught us. All the plays work. It's about execution. And it's about execution at the highest level, right? So Shannon was right. And then he mentioned, man, when I was at the HBCU training table, wasn't training the table. We sat at the table with the rest of the student body and ate. That's true. And when you at Ohio State, when you at Alabama, when you at yada, 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 this, that, and the third, these big, what they call the Power 5 conferences, there's a lunchroom and a gourmet meal set aside for you. You killing it. That's true. So why would you want to go? Would you want to live be at the Waldorf Astoria? Or do you want to be at the Days Inn? That's the honest to God truth. HBCUs, due to lack of funding and lack of support by me, you, and the rest of the community, they at the Days Inn. You know what? They're at the Holiday Inn Express. We're not going to put it at the Days Inn. They're at the Holiday Inn Express. Cool. But it's not the Waldorf. It's not these hoity-toity hotels that leave chocolate on your bed. They gonna get Holiday Inn gonna get you a comfortable bed, clean room, and everything like that. You ain't gonna have to worry about nobody kicking in your door. It's all good. But the Waldorf, they're gonna have complimentary drinks, a refrigerator in there. It's gonna be so wonderful. All this stuff amenities that you never thought, a bathrobe, and you're gonna be living like a king or a queen, right? Cool. But here's the thing my brother Shannon didn't think about. There's been a shift in our community. The Black Pride movement, the Black Power movement is at its infancy stage. The regeneration of the Black Power movement is at its infancy stages at this point. And a lot of people are doing this HBCU thing because the pride is coming back, man. We're starting to love on each other like we used to in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And if this movement continues, like Thon Maker and other big-time athletes are starting, look, Master P's son. Y'all may not know, Master P's son is one of the top guards in the United States of America. He's going to Jackson State University. Now, and then they want to say, well, if he don't win, it ain't nothing. Well, guess what? If he get the Ohio State job and don't win, what's going to happen to him? He's going to get fired. Wherever you go, if you don't win, you get fired. So to bring that up is erroneous. It's unnecessary. It's a false realization because that's the case everywhere. But how about this? If you win 10 games a year at Jackson State, you win 10 games a year at Grambling, you win 10 games a year at FAMU, you win 10 games a year at Tennessee State, you're going to be a low-key god. If you win 10 games at Ohio State and don't win a national championship, you're going to be fired. That's the difference. The most important thing is this. This is what I want people to realize. Now, I'm not, before I take the next breath, I'm not casting any aspersions against my brother Shannon Sharp. Love the dude. Do y'all know I watched that show and fast forward through everything? I've heard Skip Bayless's voice in months because when Skip started talking, enough, and then I listen to Shannon because I know Skip ain't gonna say nothing I really want to hear. But with that being said, they used it because guess what, man? If we went through the nation's top 100 basketball players, football players, and any other players throughout the United States of America, guess what we wouldn't hear? You wouldn't hear most of the dudes named in the NFL. We went through the nation's top 100. We would have never heard Terrell Owens. We wouldn't have heard Walter Payton. We wouldn't have heard David Deacon Jones. We wouldn't have heard Joe Green. We wouldn't have heard Michael Strahan, HBCU product. We wouldn't have heard Aeneas Williamson. Williams or Williamson. One of them. Aeneas, y'all know his name, cornerback. Think about that. You want their basketball players. You wouldn't have heard John Morant. You wouldn't have heard Giannis Antetokounmpo. You wouldn't have heard dozens upon dozens of players that you really like. You know why? Because most of Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, I could go on and on and on, and even some of the all-time greats, you wouldn't have heard their names because 5-star rating goes along with Nike camps and Adidas camps and Reebok camps and Under Armour camps and all these places where people invest money. And Elgin Baylor, thank you. Didn't get all those. This is a computer generated situation and a politic thing. If you doubt me, you've heard about it. One of the greatest cornerbacks in the history of the National Football League. His name is Mel Blount. There's a rule in the National Football League. You can only push people out to 5 yards. That's because of Mel Blount. Aeneas Williams, as I just named. Terrell Owens, as I just named. Jerry Rice, as I just named. Walter Payton. I don't have to go back to the black and white TV era. Some of the best players that you know. Shannon Sharp himself. HBCU product. So, the dude who helped Tom Brady win one of his 7 Super Bowls. There was a brother from an HBCU who got that interception. DeMarcus Ware. The little schools dominate the National Football League. Period. Some of the greatest players in the history of the world are from HBCUs, and they are in the National Football League's Hall of Fame. So what I'm saying is because you're not ranked up here does not mean you play up there. Because you are ranked up there does not mean you don't play up there, don't have the abilities up there. That means you don't have the politics to be up there. Or, as I played on the show the other day, the Russell Westbrook comment, that commentators will say what they want to say and insult your name and put you in a bad situation, put you in a trick bag. You may have had an emotional moment where you shout out or cussed or did something, and then they put you all the way down here, and then bam. None of you guys knew who Dak Prescott was. None of you guys knew who Tony Romo was. Period. Most of the brothers that are quarterbacks, Cordell Stewart, Steve McNair, they wasn't parade All-Americans and everybody was checking for them. Nobody was checking for them. They went to HBCUs, they went to the smaller schools, and bam, and now they're doing it. So, just because the amenities aren't great, but what you can do is this. When you go to an HBCU, I guarantee you go to an HBCU or somebody see you in the airport with that T-shirt on, they're going to give you some love. They're going to give you some love. And the whole HBCU concept is pride in who you are and your community. And if you are going to the HBCU to continue the stellar ability of your community and make an example in your community, that's what you need to be doing. So if we all start going to HBCUs, if we all start doing that, then bam, all of a sudden the money comes to us. And like I said on my show Tuesday when we had the forum about sports and entertainment, if we all start going there, Nike follows us. Adidas follows us. Hopefully, Lord willing, Master P and Reebok follows us. Under Armour follows us. ESPN follows us. Jackson State had 2 football games on ESPN. I bet you they got $4 million a game. That's enhancing their academics, that's enhancing their athletics, and enhancing their visibility. There's only one drawback, and I'm willing to take it. And it's not me that's willing to take it, but I'm hoping that my brothers and sisters are willing to take it. There are some guys like Eddie George went to Tennessee State, I think. Juan Dixon went to an HBU. Chad Ochocinco's trying to go to Florida State. George Lynch is at Spelman. Kenny Anderson is at Fisk. Ray Lewis and Ed Reed are trying to go to HBCUs as well. There's some people that are in the coaching pipeline that they're blocking. I'm sorry, brothers and sisters, but that's the way it goes in life. When you have a big time name in front of somebody who worked their behind off, they get the job. If you were in an NFL job, you wouldn't be mad at that. You would not be mad at that. So please don't get mad at these professional athletes for bringing more money and more fame and more accreditation, more credibility to your university, because in the long run it's helping the HBCU cause, and it's really not it's not hurting you. Will you get an opportunity? Maybe. But guess what? There are a bunch of HBCUs out there, and if you under Coach Prime and you a hell of a coach, you go to HBCU, you make a name. And guess what? When Prime them lost to Central Alabama the other day, convincingly, that coach's name is out there. So now he can say, I beat Prime. And we can make it that type of competition amongst us. With that being said, man, thank y'all for tuning in. If you are tuning in on Spreaker.com, please hit the like button, hit the share button, tell a friend to tune in. It is appreciated. And if you're looking at me on YouTube, please, James Brown, please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I got a little more to give you every Tuesday. Tomorrow, the Jaw Jackers. Monday, number one Chief Rocker Jersey wearing me and Knox. Tuesday, big DJ Andre Wednesday. Big Illinois and DJ Mad Knox. Cheers Roundtree. James Earl. Let's say DJ Mad Knox. Cheers Roundtree. And James Earl are my favorite show on the network. Theory of the Culture. And then Friday, DJ Mad Knox. Saturday, my sister DJ Purplelicious. And he just walked in the door. Thank you, DJ Purplelicious. And me within 168 hours from this very moment, your man HRap be in the place to be, will be in effect with more stuff to talk about, more celebration of the community, and more things that I like. And you all know. Shout out to the people who give me the support, everybody in the chat room in both places built for this network, Spreaker.com, YouTube, The End of the Bench, Build and Destroy. We are intertwined. There is no separation. I want to shout out to everybody who gave me some support. It's really appreciated. It's really appreciated. I want to salute everybody in my community, all my ancestors, all my elders, all my peers, all my youngins. Much love. I want you to continue to do it. I want to salute Combat Jack, who's overseeing this show. I never met Combat Jack, but he gave me a little inspiration. Salute to my parents, my grandparents. I want to salute the entire Urban Butte Get Down, Karen Hunter. Well, Joe, I'm going to go in order. Joe Madison, Larry Daniel Favors, Clay Kane, Heather B, Clay Kane, Clay Kane, Heather B, Karen Hunter, her guests, like my main man, on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. If you get some chance, get a time, tune in to YouTube. Salute to my man Lamont King. Yours another 2 hours. I'll be on your show tonight, then, Big Illinois. How about that? I'm gonna be on Big Illinois show, hawking up the mic, because y'all know I like to talk a lot. Big Illinois ain't gonna get a word in edgewise on this hip hop show. I'm talking the whole show. How about that, Big Illinois? He don't want none of that. But I want y'all, if y'all get a chance, just do me a favor. Just go. You on YouTube, go look up Lamont King Live. He be bringing the pain. He is funny, it's informative. It's everything, man. He give away money, too. He give away money. For real. I won $65 last week. Gave up $5 on Money Wheel and won $65. Lamont King. Support Lamont King. Support Zoe Williams, the Zoe Morning Show. Support my man Corey Holcomb. Support Craig Facts. If y'all get a chance, this is why I don't even watch TV no more. I don't even need cable, because I'm watching these good people giving me information. I can relay it to y'all, man. I salute everybody who in there. And remember, man, dream those. This is straight out of Reggie O'Shea playbook. Dream those dreams and man up and woman up, live those dreams, because life without dreams flows in black and white. Life with dreams flows in Technicolor surround sound. And to support my man, Craig Smith, I need y'all to do that. Craig Facts, he in the building. And then, we're working on another guest Tuesday. The Vegan Chef. He be posting stuff. It looks scrumdiddlyicious on Instagram. He's a good brother. We'll be chatting in the inbox. He may be coming on the show soon. So now to the Vegan Chef. And y'all already know how I'm going to end this show. 2 fingers, 1 word. And y'all know the rest. If I owe you something, I ain't got it. And you need it. Get it from God.
We are built for this network, for the strong, not the weak.
And we are